Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss about 6 types of pramana in Indian logic. Yes, this is very important regarding exam because in UGC NET it is added the Indian logic, and from Indian logic, from the 6 types of pramana, that is pratyaksha, anumana, upamana, shabda, anupalabdhi and arthatpati, from everywhere the question is coming. So please watch this video till the end and please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon to get all the latest update. Here I am going to discuss very easy way. It will be very interesting for you, Indian logic, and you will get definitely 4 to 6 marks. Definitely it is coming from Indian logic. So please assure your mark and please watch this video till this end. Okay, and this is about myself. You all know I am Priyanka Chatterjee, UGC NET qualified with 99.46 percentile. This is my website unifystudy.com. You can visit this website. Here some mock test is there, so you can avail that mock test, and I am uploading some content also there. And this is the Telegram channel Unify Study NET JRF Paper 1. You can join the channel. There I am sending everyday update, and when I am taking the live classes I am sending the link also. You can avail the live classes also. Okay, now come to the point, that is what are the 6 types of pramana. Pramana means what? That are the sources of knowledge, means from where it is the source of knowledge. How pramana means what? That how we can prove that, that is the pramana. That are the knowledge, sources of knowledge, from which source you are trying to prove that. That is the source of knowledge. So what are the source of knowledge? First one is pratyaksha. Pratyaksh pramana means perception. Second one is anumana. Anumana pramana, that is the inference based observation, means you are getting your inference, that is inference based observation. Next one is upamana. Upamana means that is the comparison, that is the analogy. And shabda. Shabda means that is the actually what it is verbal, it is coming from verbal, that is in we know that is Vedas. The Vedas, there all are learning Vedas by listening only, that is the Shruti. We are telling Vedas, the name of the Vedas are Shruti, because there everyone is remember the Vedas by listening only. So that is the Shruti, that is the Shabda. Shabda means actually it is the verbal testimony, right? Next one is anupalabdhi. Anupalabdhi, that is the negation or absence, that is anupalabdhi. Upalabdhi and anupalabdhi, that is negation or absence, means something is absence there. So whatever absence is there, you are trying to prove in that is in negative way, that is it is absence, right? Now next one, that is arthatpati. Arthatpati means implication or persuasion, that is implying, you are trying to imply something. That is A tends to B, means A is you know that is A implies B and B implies C. That is the implication. We know that is A implies B and B implies C, then we can do that is A implies C. That are the types of implication, means you are trying to get a new meaning, or you are trying to give a new information from the previous knowledge, or you are trying to do the implication. That is arthpati, that is earth ka utpatti. Utpatti, earth. Earth means that is the meaning, new meaning, earth. Okay, arthatpati. So in this video I am trying to discuss everything, all the point, and these are very important for the exam. Please watch this video till the end. So first one is that is the pratyaksha. Pratyaksha means that is the perception. So pratyaks or perception implies direct. It is direct or immediate cognition, means you are watching something directly or immediately. You are there immediate. You are the immediate observer. That is the immediate cognition. There are two kinds direct perception. So two kinds. Here also there are 2 kinds. One is external and one is internal. Now what is external and what is internal? Here we are telling pratyaks, but here also internal and external. Why? Because it will be clear now, because that is the external. What is the external perception? External perception implies the cognition of sense object, means you are sensing the object from your sensory organ. We know that our 5 sensory organ are there. What are the 5 sensory organ? That is ear, skin, eyes, tongue and nose. So from the five sensory organ you are sensing that object. That is the external, means externally you can touch, or externally you can smell, externally you are seeing, you are watching that object. That is the from the five sensory organ when you can sense the object, that is called the external perception. Now when the sense organ contact, there it is the direct contact with the sense organ, so that is the external perception. So then the pratyaksh knowledge take place, right? And now come to the point of internal perception. What is internal perception? Internal perception means that is the direct and immediate cognition of pain. Pain, can you feel it? You can feel the pain, you can feel the pleasure, pain, pleasure, love, hate, anger, knowledge or ignorance, that we cannot touch, that we cannot sense by our sensory organ. We can feel that, right? Can you touch anyone loves you, anyone hates you, you are feeling anger? We cannot. That is the feelings, that is the internal feelings. That's why we are telling that internal perception. So two types of pratyaksha, one is external, another is internal, right? Now come to the next one, that is the how it is coming. So why we are taking both are pratyaksh? Because sitting in one place, you are sitting in one place and what that is known, even far object directly, providing they come from the range our sense organ, that is immediately direct cognition of the interaction. Means maybe you are sitting in a place, but from a far, that is the some noise is coming, so you are sensing that noise. From some smell, some bad smell is coming, so you are sensing that is the some bad smell is coming, so we can sense it, right? So in all direct perception, the knowledge is extremely clear, but its scope is very limited. Because maybe when you are sitting in one place, maybe you can feel the noise, or you can hear the noise, you can feel the there are some bad smell is coming somehow. Maybe it is near about 100 meter, but after that can you smell it? No. That's why that scope is limited here. But we have an extremely beautiful creation. But how you can now come to the internal, how you can internally sense anything, that when you were watching a extremely beautiful creation right in front of your eyes, means maybe it is the art, or maybe it is a structure. So externally beautiful creation, you are watching a maybe you are watching a movie, or maybe you are watching a that is the painting, you are watching a painting, but you don't see the creator directly, you don't know the creator. When you are watching any movie, when you are watching any painting, you don't know the creator directly, but there can't be the effect without a cause, so that take resort, that is we know that is definitely the creator is inventable, that is definitely the creator is very good. He or she is a good painter, he or she is a good movie maker, right? So we can realize that. So here the scope is vast, right? So moreover, we directly see the rising the sun, we directly see that is sun is rising every day, but we know that actually in deeper, if you think in deeper way, and according to the science, we know that sun never rises, you know, right? Sun never rises, sun is there fixed, sun is fixed in its place. Only earth is moving, but every day we are telling and every day we are watching that sun is rises. So it is actually not the truth, right? So thus come great necessity of other means of valid knowledge. Here the necessity of valid knowledge. So sometimes what you are watching, what we are pratyaksh with your eyes, maybe it is also maybe that there is some error. We are telling that the sun is rising every day, but it is not the truth, because sun is in its place, only earth is moving, that's why we are thinking that sun is rising, right? So always it is not correct, there are some error also. That's why pratyaksh is of certain importance, but still also susceptible to error. These are the error. we are thinking sun is rising, but there are some error, right? So this is why perceived through our 5 sense organ like eyes, ears, tongue, nose understood by us, it considerable and should not be rejected or accepted without proper or foolproof inquiry. Means whatever you are watching by your eyes, whatever you are sensing by your sensory organ, we are taking that like a truth, right? So it is a perception. So for example, maybe that when you are in night when in your dream you are thinking, sometimes we are in our dream, that is there is a illusion in night that rope as a snake, right? We think in a illusion in a rope, the rope as a snake. So you thinking that maybe not in your dream also, it is in night, there are properly light is not there, you are in front of you there is a rope, but you think that is a snake. So there are some error also can occur, right? So now this is very important, that is the 2 modes or the steps of perception. So what are the 2 modes? There are 2 modes of pratyaksha. What are the 2 modes? One is nirvikalpa and another is sabhikalpa. Nirvikalpa and sabhikalpa, that is the nirvikalpa. What is nirvikalpa? Nirvikalpa, the name is the term is coming for nirvi. Nirvi means ni, that is without, that is not, that is the without this. Ni bikalpa. Bikalpa means that is alternative. Nirvi, that is there is not without, that is there is no alternative. Nirvikalpa, right? So not admitting an alternative, there is no alternative, or admitting no doubt, there is no doubt, or free from change or difference, there is no difference. So that is called the nirvikalpa. And what is sabhikalpa? Sabhikalpa is when one able to clearly know an object, that is all the laukik and alaukik pratyaksha are sabhikalpa, means what you are observing, that is laukik and alaukik, means maybe it is you are watching by your eyes, you are sensing by your eyes, or maybe it is internal, you are feeling, that is maybe in your internal feeling also, that we are feeling the God is there, that are the alaukik, right? That are we are feeling that sometimes we are feeling the ghost is there, that are the alaukik, right? So laukik and alaukik both are the pratyaksha and both are the sabhikalpa. And nirvikalpa is when one just perceive the object without being able to know its feature, don't know the feature, but there is no alternative, that's why that are the nirvikalpa. Okay, now come to the point of Anumana. Anumana, I have already uploaded the video for the Anumana in detail. Please watch the video, that is yesterday I have uploaded. So in the playlist first video you can see the Anumana details, but here I am giving the just the introduction of Anumana. What is Anumana? In detail Anumana is there in that video. Okay. So Anumana is word that is literally translated, the word that is Anumana means knowing after. Anumana means you are doing the assumption, that is knowing after. It means the method by which knowledge is derived from knowledge, means one knowledge is there, you have some knowledge and from that knowledge you are deriving another knowledge, that is you are guessing. Anumana means it is guessing, you are guessing something from your knowledge, deriving something from your knowledge. So it is an indirect and mediate knowledge. We have knowledge of an inseparable relationship between two things. So that is the basic of the saying deduced, that is thus Anumana refers the logical process of gaining knowledge, and knowledge thus gained the called that is inferential and deductive, means how the Anumana that somewhere it is smoke is there, so you are watching that some smoke is coming, so it is your Anumana that maybe there is some fire, right? So you know, because you know there is the relation between fire and the smoke, right? So Anumana gives least importance because it is suspectable, suspectable, right? So why we are giving the priority to the pratyaksha. After pratyaksha we are coming to anumana. So least importance here, because we are doing assumption. So for example, because there are some error can be there, why? Because for example, if one observes smoke coming from the behind of mountain, there is the mountain and behind from mountain there is he is watching that some smoke is coming, and he think that is maybe there are some fire behind the mountain. But it can be the possibility that even there is no fire and even there is no smoke, it is the mist or cloud passing behind the mountain. Means the clouds are like that you are feeling that it is a smoke. So it is not at all a smoke, it is the cloud. So the anumana is not foolproof but still considered as the pramana. Anumana, for the anumana or assumption or guessing, is not foolproof, but still we are taking that like a pramana, right? Now come to the point of upamana. What is upamana? Upamana means analogy. Analogy means you are comparing with some feature. That is there are two logicians, that is Mismian and this, that is defined that upamana as the process by which the knowledge of A similarity to B is gained from the perception. Okay, that is similar. You are by similarity you are trying to compare to each other by the similarity, because you know that how the boys are looking, how the girls are looking. So when the kids are there, so how they are identifying that these are girls and these are boys, because by watching the similarity, right? So you know that girls are looks like that and boys are looks like that. So if you watching if the kids are watching same like who is wearing shari, looking like his mother, and who is wearing the pant and shirt looking like his father, so he is boy and he is girl. So it is the similarity, he is trying to making the similarity, that is the analogy. So it is the truth, it is the proof to these kids, right? So similarity of A and B. Now there are the methodologies seen distinct from mere inference. So valid, mediate and the knowledge, that are the maybe that cow. There are two types of animal, that is one is cow, similarity with the gavaya. Gavaya is another type of animal but looking same like the cow. So perception is gavaya's similarity to his cow, right? So these are the upamana. So upamana we are sometimes we are telling like that you were so beautiful like the moon. Yeah, this is so sweet like the maybe kheer, right? So we are telling like that we are upamana. It is so dark like the night, right? These are the upamana, these are the analogy. Now shabda. Now come to the shabda or pramana. What types of shabda? Shabda is the verbal testimony. I already told that shabda is coming from the concept of Ved. Because Ved, we know there is no writing, at the type of Ved. Everyone listening the Ved, and in that way it is spreading, it spread from one to one by only listening. That's why the name is Shruti, right? So Shabda Pramana is the verbal testimony, it is a verbal testimony, and it is also called that is Apta Vakyash, right? Now statement of truthworthy person. Truthworthy person. Now whose shabda, whose verbal testimony? We are not trust. You will not trust everyone. There should be the truth. Means when you are searching for maybe you are searching for a previous year's question answer. What is the answer? You are not going for everyone. Whatever which teacher you trust that teacher, you have some faith with that teacher, you are going to that teacher only, you are asking that sir or ma'am, what is the answer of this question? That is the trustworthy person, means he or she is the trustworthy person to you. That's why his or her word, his or her verbal testimony is a pramana for you, because you trust him, right? That is the word, that is the shabda. So and agamana, we are telling of something, the agama, that is authentic word, because sometimes if I tell, some students are there, they are asking me, ma'am, is it true? yes, I am telling, if I told that yes it is true, so it is there for, it is for them, it is authentic, right? Maybe we are taking the authentic, like I am also taking authentic as my teacher. My teacher, whatever my teacher is telling me, it is authentic to me, right? So Shabda is also a Praman, that I am telling that that ma'am or that teacher told me, so it is authentic, right? So we learn mostly by means of word. Every time we learn from our class, from our student, when we are student, that is oral, written messages and mode of communication. So we constantly various information, knowledge, right, from the school days. From the school days we have started from learning by the Shabda only, right? So moment of use the words valid or effective meanings, bringing about awareness, things, ideas and emotion. Like what are that? That is books, magazine, newspaper, letter, and sometimes chat, radio, TV, movies, song, everything we are learning. So this is Shabda is one type of Pramana also. Now next one is, that is the verbal statement. Convoy, valid knowledge must have a authentic source. Definitely it should be authentic source. You are not going for everyone, you are not asking everyone, you are only rely about the authentic source, right? And that is the free from defect, that should be, there should be no defect, and only a competent person process the knowledge can impart. That is, always remember that it should be the authentic person, and that should be reliability should be there, and there should not be any defect. That is the Pramana or Shabda. Now next one, that is Anupalabdhi. Anupalabdhi. What is Anupalabdhi? It is a negation or absence, means it is coming from the negation or some absence is there. That is it is a proof of knowledge, some negation or absence of things, means something in absence there. That is, since the Brahman every time, that is the presence of nowhere absent, the proof does not deserve the consideration. For example, in a college, Mr. A has not attended any lecture today, means Mr. A have not attended any lecture today, so it must mean that he went to watch a movie. So it cannot be true also, because maybe Mr. A is not present there, that maybe he is ill, maybe he is ill, but we are taking it like Anupalabdhi, because we are thinking that Mr. A is not present and Mr. A is not attending any lecture, so maybe we are thinking he went out for movie. That is the Anupalabdhi, means he is not present here, so that's why we are thinking that maybe he is watching, he went to watch the movie. So this is the Anupalabdhi. Now next, that is Arthatpati. What is Arthatpati? Arthatpati means it is the two kind. One is Pratyaksha, based on the perception, and an object, and Shruti, based on the wording, hearing. That just now I told, that is Shabda, that is Shruti, based on the hearing, or Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha is there. So this kind of proofs are mixed. This is the mixed of two, mixed by the perception and inference. So Arthatpati means we are mixing the knowledge of Pratyaksha and the perception, we are mixing that, but maybe that we are, after mixing, we are trying to inference, that it is the implication, we are trying to imply another meaning, that is the implication. So where I am taking an example, that is Mr. A, who is alive, means he is still alive, but is not in his house, he is not present in his house. The very knowledge of his being out of his house is based on perception. So we ourselves look for him or in the house, but we do not see him, in his house. So we can conclude that since he is alive and he is not inside the house, he must be somewhere outside his house, right? Means he is alive. Still now we know that Mr. A is alive, but he is not there in his house. After searching, we saw that he is not there in his house. Means one knowledge we have, that is he is alive. Another knowledge we have, that we pratyaksh that we search in his home and he is not in his home. So now we are implying that it is our implication, that is our arthatpati, that maybe he is outside of his home, right. And sometimes that is a favorite example of me, that is sometimes that is one friend, there was a birthday of a friend last night, that is A of a friend, the birthday of a friend last night, and now B is not present in the class. So we can imply that, we can do the implication that maybe B went to the birthday party yesterday and that's why he took so many food in his birthday party, and after that B is now became sick. Maybe B have the stomach pain, that's why B did not came to the college, B is absent today, maybe. So this is the implication, means we were there, we know that there was the knowledge, there was the birthday party, so maybe B went to that birthday party, or you have pratyaksh that yesterday B was there in the birthday party, now B is not there in the class, so maybe B have the stomach pain. So these are the arthatpati, means implication, you are implying something, you don't know the exact reason or you don't know that, but you are implying something, that is the implication, that is, you know, A implies B and B implies C, so you are implying that is A implies C, that is the implication or arthatpati, right. Now there is the two question, I have collected two question for this video and I will upload the more question in the next video because it is already a long video. So just read this question and try to solve what is the answer, right. So here see that is the distinct between savikalpa, that is determinate, and the nirvikalpa is a mode of respect to which of the following pramanas. Just now I told you. Just pause the video, try to think, and next again play the video. So what is the answer? We know that is the two modes of perception. Just now I told you, that is the nirvikalpa and savikalpa of the pratyaksh, right. So answer is pratyaksh. Now next one, that is the Tan Paksha. What is the Tan Paksha? According to the classical Indian school of the logical refer. So what is the inference? What is Paksha? Here first option is major term, next option is undefined term, third option is minor term, fourth option is middle term. Think it, pause the video and after that play again. So in our previous video we have already discussed that major term, that is shabda, that is sadhya. Sadhya is the major term, that is the object of the inference. Middle term, that is the linga or sign. We know that is linga or sign is the middle term, that is the hetu or reason. And minor term, that is the paksha or subject of inference. If you have not seen the previous video, then please check the previous one also. So now the answer is very clear. Yes, that is the minor term. Paksha is the minor term. So I will upload the next video. In the next video we will discuss all the question, and one topic is remaining, that is fallacy. For the fallacy also I will upload the video, and after for everything question in new, if any new concept is coming, whatever important for your exam, definitely I will try to complete all the important topic of Indian logic with the previous year's question from the December all set in our next video. So please stay tuned with this channel and please try to complete all the playlist of Indian logic. And not only Indian logic, we have already completed the teaching aptitude, research aptitude, communication and all the previous year's question also. Just go for the playlist, check the playlist, there are so many questions available, so many important concept available. I have discussed everything in the class. Just check it, definitely it will be beneficial for you all. And please share this video to everyone, and please like this video if you like this class, and please try to put some comment, let me know your feedback in the comment section below. Thank you so much, stay tuned. I will meet you with again in the next class or next video. Maybe 4:30 I am taking the class, I am trying to arrange the class. 4:30 you can have the live class also for the paper 1. So bye bye, have a good day. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.